comes to crypto, net zero transition, climate crisis. You know what's crazy? I've always said when it comes to crypto that all these Bitcoin maxis that have been saying, oh, crypto's you're going to escape the elite system by using Bitcoin. Yeah, that's comical. Crypto is literally a significant piece of the whole puzzle that the elites have created and pushed to you. But when you look at all of this, it's very clear on where they want us to really kind of go, which is a digital financial system that is programmable. Now, outside of this, they also have the Global Lighthouse Network. And this is, again, using Fourth Industrial Revolution technologies to transform factories, value chains, and business models for compelling financial and operational returns. How are they going to do, that? How are they going to see significant financial returns? Oh, yeah, that's right. They're going to replace jobs with AI and robots. This is all a part of their Fourth Industrial Revolution. So throw the Great Reset narrative out, enter the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which we are now in. This is the wild one to actually focus on. And here we actually have another one of their maps. And I know that this is a little bit hard to see. I'll zoom in real quick. So if we actually look at this, you can see everything tied to this. The Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, health and healthcare, batteries. I mean, this is exactly what I mean. Everything that the World Economic Forum is looking into is changing every single thing around us. And even over here, they have centers for the Fourth Industrial Revolution around the world to make sure that they are accelerating this globally. And this is their global map when it comes to their Fourth Industrial Revolution network. And you can see all of the areas here. Very, very interesting. Now, outside of this, let's play this clip from Ray Dalio, because all of this is a part of, that's right, all of it's a part of the big shift. Or, as you all know, this is going to be a new world order. Check this out.
Okay. Let's start by describing it's something like the new order to the next new order. And when I mean a new order, I mean the new system, right? Like the world order was made in 1945 at the end of a war. And a civil war can begin a new order inside of a country. Like the Chinese Civil War began their new order inside the country, 1949. And so that's like a new beginning. And they always come out of wars. And a war is a fight for how the system works. So we'll begin there. After the fight of how the system works, it's a great leveler. It gets rid of a lot of the debts, and it starts over. And then there's a new power. In the United States, the New World Order, it was an American world order because the United States won World War II. It had 80% of the world's gold. Gold was money. It had the dominant military power. It had nuclear weapons. And because of that, we began the American world order.
We literally got people together in a room and said, hey, we're going to be entering literally a new order. And they lay things out. It was in Bretton Woods, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And so I want people to understand, like, this is people, they get together and they actually decide this stuff.
That's right. They carve up the world. Here are the borders. This group gets this piece and so on and so forth. And then they begin. And and by the way, this has happened repeatedly throughout history. And so they start off with those new rules of the game. And you enter a period of peace and prosperity. And it's peace because nobody wants to fight the dominant power. The dominant power won, and you don't want to fight the dominant power. And
you're exhausted. I mean, and this is one thing you're careful to point out in the book is like, war is horrendous. And so part of what creates that period of stability is just we've seen so many people die. There's so much destruction of life, wealth, which is why, the stakes are high when you're talking about this.
That's right. And there's a change in psychology, really, that you're dealing with. Because quite often, these things take place. They take a generation or more to take place, a lifetime. And the people who enter the war do so boldly. But everybody who enters the war and then goes through the war wish they never went through the war because it's so terrible. But they come out, as you point out, and then the war is over. They want peace, they want productivity, and so on. And then it's a great leveler, less wealth gaps and so on. And they work well together, and they build a period of peace and prosperity. That is a long period of peace and prosperity. But during that peace and prosperity, more and more prosperity takes place, and they increasingly bet on that prosperity, and people get more in debt. And so you see the debt levels rise, and you see naturally, as prosperity comes, it comes in unequal ways, and some get richer than others. And so wealth gaps rise, and then those wealth gaps increasingly create opportunity gaps because the rich people have more resources to educate their children and give them the benefits. And so that happens over a period of time while the economy gets more indebted. And of course, as time progresses, other countries also rise. Those maybe that even lost the war, like Germany and Japan, they rebuild and they become competitors. And so what was a unique power of having won the war becomes less unique as there was more competition. And then you get a new generation of people who have a different mentality. They get used to those benefits and so on. And they are, let's say, less cautious in their financial behavior and so on. And so the classic ingredient also is that country that wins the war also has the world's reserve currency. Because, you need a currency to transact internationally. It's like a language. You need a language to transact internationally. And the winner of the war gets the world's reserve currency because everybody thinks that's the most stable. And they also want to save in it.
So there you guys have it. And yeah, I mean, we are literally witnessing a new world order, but this has been ongoing for a little bit of time now. And it's all based around the digital financial system. We are seeing geopolitical conflict. We're seeing, Russia pushing for a CBDC. Their CBDC timeline, which just got updated on October 2nd, by the way, is July 2025. Mass rollout in July of 2025. Now, what's crazy about this is I've mentioned multiple times that the second that Russia does something like this, or any BRICS nation, it's game on. Every single nation, and the United States specifically, is going to start pushing heavily for this. And also, it's not just Russia. Australia, on September 18th, the Reserve Bank of Australia confirms new wholesale CBDC initiative. Again, they are rolling these projects out so quick. Now, they are talking about, a few timelines here, but this initiative will run through the second half of 2025. It seems as though 2025 is, the big focus for a lot of CBDC initiatives. It's going to be very interesting to see how the global economy is looking at that time, because a lot of this does align perfectly with significant crises. You go back to 2020 around, COVID and the pandemic, that accelerated the digital move on money. They pushed for digital because, cash usage was dropping.